All right, hello again. This is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today. And what's the issue here? We've got a very clear situation now because we're getting the public records thanks to the new administrator. We have very clear evidence of that Maria Selsor, the director of the Equal Rights Division's Bureau of Hearings and Mediations, is editing decisions before they're going out. Now, we've had that before, but what's so troubling here is she's editing the case in Ford versus Milwaukee Board of School Directors, in which Larissa Benitez Morgan, the hot mic judge, nominally or supposedly um, dismisses the case in its entirety because the worker handed their discovery in 5 minutes late, or whatever late means in this situation, which was extremely troubling. Now, two really big problems arise with that there, which we've addressed before, which is that this judge knew that the Labor and Industry Review Commission, their appealable body, had said you cannot do this. You must hold a hearing before you dismiss out a case. They knew that, okay? Judge Gelhard, which we've got some thoughts about him, he informed us that this decision came out 1 month before that they made this decision. We got the emails that showed that all of the ALJs get the decisions when they're issued. They're all specifically, then they meet and discuss them, which would have happened here. Nevertheless, Larissa Benitez Morgan is dismissing this case, and not on her own. And that's the important thing here, is that her boss, Maria Selsor, who's got two important duties. Besides supervising, she's supposed to make sure that these judges, these administrative law judges, follow the law and know the law, right? So when the Labor and Industry Review Commission, says you can't do what they're doing, it's Maria Selsor's job to tell them that they can't do that. And here she's participating in the drafting of the decisions. Okay? So again, it's bad enough for the judge to have done it. It's bad enough for the supervisor to be involved in the case, but it's even worse for the supervisor to be involved in the decision and to participate in the wrong decision. That what did that cost my client? It cost her years. Years. Because we'll see these decisions are being made in October 23rd of October 2023. Now, what do we have here? Let's just look. Benitez Morgan to Maria Selsor, October 23rd, 2023. By the way, they refused to give us the draft documents and the changes. They said that they're drafts. If a draft, by the way, the rule says, if a draft, let's just look at what the rule says. All right. This email is in response, I'm reading here, to let's see if I can open it up a little better. Bam. Responsive records are retouched. Pursuant to WISStat 1932 sub 2, a record does not include draft notes and preliminary computations and like materials prepared for the originator's personal use or prepared by the originator in the name of a person for whom the originator is working. For this reason, the department has withheld any draft documents. Now, what's the problem with that there? Who's the originator here? The originator in name is Benitez Morgan. She's the one who's signing her name to the document. Okay, so what she sends to Benitez Morgan, or to Selsor for her approval, is not a document for her own use, personal use. Nope. Or prepared by the originator in the name of a person for whom the originator is working. Not the case. Now let's go the reverse way here. Let's look at it from Selsor's point of view. Now, it's not for her personal use. She's sending back the draft. That's not for her personal use. That's for the use of Benitez Morgan to sign her name to it. Or was she prepared by the originator in the name of the person for whom the originator is working? Now, what falls apart there? Maria Selsor does not work for Benitez Morgan. It's quite the reverse. So here we are. So what does this next sentence mean? This next sentence means now we can sue them in circuit court for the refusal to produce the drafts, which seems a dead cert that might happen. Okay, moving on. There's clearly some editing of these emails. This isn't everything. This is what we call a limited hangout, based on the separation of documents here, and the order of the pages is my belief. So Benitez Morgan on the 23rd says, Maria, I have attached the two documents. This is the dismissal letter and the order. And they've clearly talked about this, because otherwise she would know, she would have to say regarding, how about Ford versus Milwaukee Board of School Directors? Do we see that anywhere? Nope. Don't see that anywhere. So we can assume that there's either emails, other emails, or here, doesn't say Ford, doesn't say Ford. No, nowhere, nowhere, nowhere. Here it goes. All right. Looks good, she says. Your dismissal order was found to be illegal, an erroneous exercise, looks good, is what she says. Again, it's Maria Seltzer's job description to train the ALJs on the law. Seems like a failure to supervise here to me. That's what it seems like. Failure to supervise. Thank you. I will send it out again after I check it for typos, dates, etc. So we know that Maria Seltzer's job is not to check it for typos, dates, etc. She's doing fundamental changes to the document. This is not believable that these are the only communications. Or, what, to be clear, I think that there's pause. Excuse me. I'm just guessing they haven't sent out the Teams chats or even checked them. So let's get that out there. Looks good. That's a bottom line here. That's the evidence that we have. But boom, in black and white. Why did it take 4 months for them to produce it? I don't know. I don't know. But they got this decision here. And once again, we can show, that's all we got. That's all we got. Maria Selsor approves decisions before they go out. Check. We pretty much had that before. But now we can say Maria Selsor approves erroneous decisions that goes out. Has somebody else sign them and take the hit for her. Finally, we can say this was one of the most biased decisions that I've ever had. It was clearly an attempt by the hot mic judge to get me. And I think there's no doubt in my mind, anyway, that Maria Selsor took an active part in that retaliation against me for, in part, recording them. So the DWD has a real problem with supervision. Sorry, let's be very clear. The Department of Workforce Development, I think we can say that generally speaking, but specifically the Department of Workforce Development, Equal Rights Division, Hearings and Mediation Bureau has a significant problem with supervision, a failure to supervise. I think we can also say that they have a significant problem following the laws that, or the rules that LERC has set for them. And the director of that division has a significant problem doing her job duties, which include making sure that her subordinates conform to the law. And part of that is making sure that they know the law here. So again, when they already had the information that they couldn't do this, they did it anyway with the approval of the supervisor. It's starting to sound a lot like this is retaliatory. So that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at the DWD from back in 2023. Final thing I'm going to say, we called this out in real time as it was happening. Extremely traumatic. And it may, for Larissa Benitez Morgan to claim that others are being bullied and that she gave the death penalty to a race case at Milwaukee Public Schools in which there was already clear testimony because she wanted to prove how tough, if we're to believe her own words, that she wanted to prove how tough she is. That's disgusting. Tony Evers, what they're doing here is they've put in a new administrator. They're trying to clean this up on the back end that needs to be cleaned up officially. If people need to lose their pensions, they need to lose their pensions. This is not an acceptable state of affairs. These people need to be removed from their position. So I think that part's clear. Maria Selsor needs to be removed for interfering. Maria Selsor needs to be removed for approving a legal decision. And Maria Selsor needs to be removed for failing to supervise her subordinates. And that's where we're at. So thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep you informed.